Well, buy now, pay later services are popular in today's retail world, but once you sign up, they can become debt traps. Now, the biggest providers have been accused of making it too easy to spend.
It's the modern-day version of lay-by, and millions of Australians are now using companies like Afterpay and ZipPay to treat themselves to everything from clothing, shoes, beauty treatments, flights, even dental care. And for the first time, two of the country's biggest rivals have faced off at a Senate inquiry.
A one-size-fits-all regulatory approach will not deliver the best outcomes for Australians that use our products.
We support ASIC and this committee in exploring regulation to ensure minimum standards are delivered consistently across the industry.
Tonight, what you need to know about how their company practices affect you.
If you're late on one payment, we suspend your account and you can't buy anything else through Afterpay until you've come good.
And how using the services, even with a good repayment history, may cause problems when applying for more credit.
I had 3 deals that got declined because of Afterpay.
It's campaigns like this one making light of broke consumers that have seen Afterpay face tough criticism.
It is not acceptable to Afterpay.
While Afterpay deny being behind the viral campaign, it hasn't stopped MPs like Queenslander Milton Dick from rallying against the buy now, pay later sector.
We're seeing a crisis in Australia where consumers are sometimes unknowingly entering into these debt spirals.
How long do you think it would take a consumer to prepare the information necessary for a credit check?
It probably takes about a minute and a half.
Do they get an automatic result from you, or do they need to wait some time before the approval is provided?
We're able to provide an automated result.
Is that compliant with the requirements under the National Credit Code?
It's very close to compliance.
Payday loans, or the loan sharks, have come in and preyed upon some of the most vulnerable.
While their customers are hard up for money, in contrast, Afterpay's Nick Molnar and Anthony Eisen are the young Aussie rich listers going global, launching in the US and the UK.
Our average transaction value again is $150. To troll through customers' bank account details, employment history, other aspects which are reticent within the National Credit Code in terms of those policies and procedures is probably disproportionate.
Over 2.5 million Australian customers are using the service.
The maximum amount a customer can have owing is $2,000. They would have to exhibit continuous good repayment behaviour in order to get there.
For a first-time customer, the amount that you can spend is very, very much lower.
The structure of your companies pushes people into the arms of other, even less affordable products for a group of people who are not really in a position to pay for the goods.
From our perspective, only customers who should be able to use our product responsibly, pay on time, should be in the system.
ZipPay founders Peter Gray and Larry Diamond say 1 million consumers use their product and they offer better credit checks than their rivals.
We reject 35 to 40% of applications.
Both companies agree their customers are signing up because they are turning their backs on traditional banking.
We know Australians are sick of the way of the old way of doing business. They're over-bureaucratic companies that won't engage with them.
A lot of our customers, or the vast majority, are moving away from having multiple forms of debt.
In the last month, I've had 3 declines just because the client had an Afterpay.
Cheryl Brown is a mortgage broker with eChoice and has this advice for buy now, pay later users applying for home loans and car loans.
They look at it as short-term money, and that if you can't afford the little things, then you're not going to be able to afford the big things like trying to pay a mortgage or pay car loans.
I use it for everything. It's really easy to rack up debt on Afterpay.
Beck Jackson is a regular user of Afterpay, so much so she often forgets how many payments she has coming up.
And you kind of don't account for it in your budget, and you end up getting this large chunk of money comes out.
And there's no part of our collection process which revolves around enforcement. We've never taken anybody to court.
Afterpay charges a $10 late payment fee and claims only 22% of total customers since inception have been hit with a charge.
We'll waive the late fee for 24 hours and we'll say that as a reminder, we'll retest it again. Please put the money in your account.
Zip's late fee is just $5, and the founder says only 1 in 100 customers aren't able to make payments.
And that fee is charged 21 days after the due date.
They can't afford basic dental cover, they can't afford basic health cover, and these companies are seeing an opening in the market.
With tens of thousands of Aussie businesses offering both services, the question now is whether or not they need stricter regulations like the traditional credit providers.
We're very low transaction value, so it's impossible for Afterpay to bankrupt a person, for example, and we've never enforced a debt. So we don't see ourselves as the straw that breaks the camel's back.
Recommendations from the Senate inquiry into the buy now, pay later sector will be released at the end of the month.